my relationship with Patrick, you know, have us go through our dark times, I would do everything differently. I would be a better communicator. I would tell him things that were affecting me and were hurting me, and I would open up and not just internalize them and have a fucking meltdown in my mind. I would talk about things and talk about my emotions and my feelings, because in turn, me thinking that walking away would save the friendship in turn destroyed it and destroyed all my relationships in that way. You know, not owning up to my bullshit, that hurts people. So now regarding Jeffree, this is a big topic. This is something that people have been asking me and asking me and asking him for so long to talk about, as to why we are no longer friends, why we are no longer close, what's going on between us, what's the tea, what's going on. There were things mutually done to one another that hurt the other, you know, and the fact that we didn't communicate that to each other better is truly where I feel like our downfall was our lack of communication. And the fact that we were not able to communicate to each other how we were truly feeling. You know, Jeffree has done, oh my goodness, I can't even explain. Jeffree has done so much for me in my life. You know, I would not be where I am today without Jeffree. Jeffree has helped me in insurmountable ways. He truly, truly has. And just like Patrick, if I can go back and fix things with Jeffree, I would. I really, really would. Because how he felt, how he feels, it's not right. It's like we never had closure. You know, last year, me and Jeffree had a heart-to-heart around November. And I went over to his place and we wanted to talk about certain things. You know, we wanted to talk about things of why we were in this weird funk. But I wasn't able to open up like I wanted to. And I wasn't able to accept the things that he was telling me. I wasn't able to accept it, you know? And I take full responsibility, you know, for that. And for me not being a better communicator. And for me not believing in him when there were certain things that were going down. You know, at the end of the day too, the things that have happened between us all, those are things that have happened between us. You know, I never wanted to take this to social media. I never wanted to talk about this, you know? These relationships that I've had with these people that were in my life and I loved so much. These were private things. These were things I never wanted to talk about. These were never the things I wanted to speak about, because that was a relationship between me and Jeffree. Not MANNY, MUA, and Jeffree Star. It was between me and Jeffree. It was between me and Patrick. It was between me and Gabby. Those were things that I wanted to keep private and hidden. You know, and yes, even though we had our differences and we had our miscommunications and we had our missteps and we are no longer close like we once were, there was a mutual understanding that I didn't want to go out and publicly bash anyone and talk negatively about anything. Have I been shady along the way and like with tweets and likes and things like that? Absolutely. Everyone has. All of us have. You know, and that's just human nature, to be petty and being a fucking bitch, honestly. Being a fucking bitch, and that's what I was. I was being a fucking bitch. You know, you guys, I have not reached out to Jeffree about this situation. I have not reached out to Patrick about this. I have reached out to Gabriel, and he's shut me out, and that's okay, because he's hurt by something that I've done, and I understand that, and I take full fucking responsibility for what I did to him and hurting him by liking tweets, by responding to things. You know, that, I can't even explain how mad at myself I am about this, because that's the last thing I want. I don't want to lose a fucking friend. I don't want to lose another friend. That's the last thing I wanted. You know, which is why I was trying so hard to mend it and fix things. But I understand. I understand if Gabby does not want to fix things. I understand that is him. That is his truth. And if he's happier without me in his life, then so be it. And so be it. But I have not reached out to Patrick and I have not reached out to Jeffree yet. I didn't want it to seem like it was disingenuous, like I was only reaching out because of all this shit coming up now. You know, maybe in the future we can talk. With Patrick, for example, I just saw him at VidCon recently and it was a great experience. We took photos together and it was great. We just talked and just sat and chilled, you know? And that's what I want. You know, we might not be best friends, we might not be close anymore, but the fact that we actually have a working relationship now and we're able to see each other and be genuinely happy when we see each other, that is what I wanted. And that's what we have. And with Jeffree, the reason I didn't apologize or talk about it sooner was because I really, in my bones, felt I had did nothing wrong. I did not post this photo. I did not know this photo was being posted. You know, I liked it, unliked it, and my pride got in the way. And I didn't reach out to Jeffree, and I didn't talk to him, you know, and that's what happened. You know, we might not be as close as we once were, but he is living his life happily, and I'm living my life happily. And that's all I want. Recently, Alicia Marie posted a video, and it was about like the dark side about YouTube and just kind of talking about with other influencers, you know, with talking about the other end of YouTube with other influencers. And in that video, I literally say how grateful I am to Jeffree for introducing me to a lab that I use. I do not wish any ill will on Jeffree or Patrick or Gabriel. I don't. I want them to be happy. I want them to be happy. You know, even though I was a shitty fucking friend to them. You know, maybe that's why I want them to be so happy, is because because of my own shortcomings as a person and as a human being to them. Because I wasn't there for them. And I was a shitty friend. You know, looking back at everything, communication is everything, you guys. It is everything. When I tell you that communication is the most important thing, it truly is. You need to be able to communicate and evoke your emotion, or else you will not be able to flourish in relationships. And I really feel like that was a big downfall in all three of my friendships with Gabby, Jeffree, and Patrick. I wasn't able to convey how I felt. And that's a big reason why it ended, and why I slid back, and why I took a step back from the situation. I was like, no, I would rather, you know, step away than confront them and tell them how I'm feeling. You know, you guys, confrontation really brings out a bad side of me, and by that I mean my anxiety and my depression. And confrontation really brings my anxiety to a whole new level. And I think to myself, if I'm not confronting this person that's hurt me, it's fine, because I'm not gonna be feeling anxious, and I can just kind of back away and I can try to mend the friendship from afar, but it never gets mended because I swept it under the rug. I swept it under the rug. And that's what it was. I swept all my friendships under the rug because I wasn't able to talk about them. Even making this video right now, I'm shaking. It's so hard for me to talk about these things. It's hard to talk about you failing as a friend. It's hard to talk about you failing as a human. And it's hard to talk about you failing to your audience. And that's what I feel like. I feel like I've failed you. I feel like I've truly failed you guys so much. And that's the last thing I want, is to fail you guys. You know, you guys, this has been one of the most life-changing things that's ever happened to me in my entire life, is this situation that's happened to me. You know, it's made me reevaluate who I am as a person, who I am as a friend, who I am as a sibling, who I am as a son, you know. And I've talked to my parents about this, you know. I'm at my parents' house right now, actually. This is why the setup looks a little weird, because I've been here for the past 2 days just reflecting and talking to them. You know, my parents even told me, it was tough love. Oh, tough love is very real. I asked my parents what they thought of me and what they think about the situation and what they think in general. And they say that I've changed. My own parents told me that I've changed.